So I know that this video is a little bit random because we're not talking about finances, we're not talking about the stock market. We are talking about growing a YouTube channel from 0 to 100,000 subscribers. I'm gonna give you guys my story because we just hit 100,000 on this channel, Honest Finance. And I'm also gonna give you the 5 things that I've learned through this experience on how you can start a YouTube channel and do it a lot better and a lot faster than I did, because I think that they'll actually help you out. So literally 3 years ago, I decided to start up a YouTube channel called Honest Finance. And the whole reason I did this is just because I wanted to talk to somebody about my passion for finances, and nobody in my real life had any interest in talking about it. So instead, I went to a camera and I decided to talk to the world, and I had no direction. I had no clear idea of where the YouTube channel was gonna go, but I did start, and that's where it all started, was 3 years ago. I obviously started with my first video, then I made it to my second, and then I created the third video. And at that point, I was getting really discouraged because I wasn't getting a lot of views, and all the work that I had put into the channel wasn't really making sense at that point. So I actually quit, and I think a lot of people do that. And I stopped producing content. I almost deleted the entire channel. But that following December, so I actually started it back in May 3 years ago, but that following December, I decided to go in hardcore, and I started making a lot of videos per week, even though I had no strategy. I didn't know what I was doing. But at that point, the channel did start growing. But I'm just saying that there is a point where you're feeling like you want to quit. Don't do that. Just keep going, because it does make sense as long as you get over that hill. And trust me, you are never going to have a clue on how to do everything right from the very first video. And the only thing you can do is just start. Because as long as you get that first video out, then you can start working on it, and you can start making your future videos just a little bit better and just a little bit better. And then eventually you'll get the hang of it, but you're never just going to start knowing everything. Now at this point, I'm going to teach you guys the 5 tips on how to grow a YouTube channel starting from 0 subscribers. And this is from my personal experience. So hopefully you guys can learn something new and execute and not do the same mistakes that I did. Because trust me, if you can avoid those mistakes, you're going to grow a lot faster, it's going to be smoother, and it's going to be a lot easier. Okay, so the first tip to growing a YouTube channel is the fact that you have to have a passion for what you're creating. Because if you don't have a passion for the content that you want to be making, then you are going to get bored, you're never going to want to do it, and it's not going to be worth it in the end, no matter how much money is involved. Because if you absolutely hate what you're talking about, you're not going to have the motivation to create that content. And that's the drive that you need in order to create a YouTube channel and to keep it going, because you have to have a passion. Because trust me, if you do the research for a topic that you're just not interested in, you might be able to create that content a few times, but eventually it's gonna catch up to you because you just don't have the passion to make it happen. Because you can always do it just a little bit, but there's always gonna be a point where you just can't get past it. And that's why you need the passion, and that's why this is the first step that I wanna talk about. And then once you've identified exactly what you're interested in, I would highly recommend that you funnel down even further. So for example, if you're really into golf, instead of just talking everything about golf, try to specifically go down into one topic. Like for instance, if you just want to teach people how to putt, start with that and just talk everything putting. That way from the beginning, you're getting a lot better leverage and you're seeing a lot better results because you're not going all over the place. So just remember to only create content around something that you're passionate about, and then make sure to funnel that down into something specific, and you are going to have a lot better results as a beginner on YouTube. Now, the second tip I want to talk about is very obvious, but it's just the fact that you don't want to quit too soon. Because a lot of the time, new YouTubers, they get really excited, they make a few videos, and then they just quit because they don't see any results. When in reality, if they would have just kept going just a little bit further, something could have happened to where their channel could have exploded, or they could have had really good results on a specific video. So don't quit too soon, and that is a very important tip. And also keep in mind that it's at least going to take about 10 to 20 videos just for you to start getting comfortable. So in that context, you are going to have to make quite a few videos just to get over that threshold of the awkwardness of talking to a camera. Even still, I've made over 100 videos and I still can't talk to the camera. It's super awkward. I have to have a ton of energy that I normally don't have. And that is something that I'm continuously working on, even though I've made a lot of videos. And just for kicks, as an example, I'll leave my very first video up here so you guys can watch that, and you can see the difference between that video and this video, even though back then I thought I was doing a pretty good job. So hopefully a year from now, 2 years from now, I watch this video and I can even see that I've made quite a few changes from there, because you always want to move in an upward progress. Now, the third tip that I want to share with you guys is that you absolutely have to get to know the community that you're a part of. So for instance, if you're into guitar lessons, then you need to find all the different guitar channels out there, and you need to get to start knowing these specific channels, because this is the community that you're a part of. And this is a big deal because you can call it competition, but honestly, you're going to find that this is a community of friends that are all in it together. Because I'm in the finance niche and I know a lot of different guys. I've actually gone out and visited people. People have come out and visited me, and we've collaborated, and it has been all a good experience, and I can call them all my friends. So this is a big deal. Make sure that you pay attention and join all the people inside of your community, because that's going to help you. There's a few ways that you can get to know people inside your community, and the first way that you can do this is just by commenting on their specific videos. This is really easy to do. You just comment on their videos, maybe they'll comment back, and then you can get to know people. Another thing you can do is you can go to the About page on YouTube on a specific channel, and you can actually find their email and you can talk to them through email on that sort of source. Just don't really spam them. Make sure that you're giving them value, and they probably will talk to you back. And then another thing you can do is you can also join Facebook groups, you can go on different forums, stuff like that. And that's a good way to get to know people inside of your community as well. Now, the next tip I want to cover is that you should always give as much as you possibly can and don't expect anything in return, because you're always going to find that if you give value before you ask for something, it's going to end up working in your favor, because these are real people that are watching your videos. And so if these real people find that you're giving them value, then they are going to subscribe, they are going to be loyal, and then when you ask them for something, they're actually going to believe you and they're going to trust what you have to say. So always give more, as much as you possibly can, and don't ask, okay? So you just want to give, and don't take as much. So for instance, in this specific video, all I've been doing is giving you guys value. And at this point, it would be appropriate if I asked you guys for something. And that's what I'm going to do right now. I am going to ask you for something. Give it a thumbs up if you are liking this video. Just click the little thumbs up. That way I can tell if we're liking it or if we're not liking it. And that is when you're appropriately asking for something. So just remember to give as much as you possibly can in your videos, and don't expect anything in return. And I promise you, everything is going to work out a lot better than if you're just asking everybody for something in every single video. Now, the final tip that I have for you guys is that you should always answer all of the comments that you get, because I promise you, you're going to meet a lot of real people out there, and you can help them with their problems if you're answering those comments, because you really want to treat them like they're your customers. These are people that are coming to you for answers, and if you just ignore them and don't answer their comments, then they have no reason to keep coming back. So answer their comments, and I promise you, this is going to help you grow. Now, obviously, if you get hate comments or if you get spam comments on your channel, you don't need to be answering those. I'm talking about real people that have real questions. Help them out as much as you can, because honestly, I get a lot of comments every single day and I can still keep up with them. And I try to help out everybody on my channel that I possibly can. Now, I do get questions that I really can't answer, and so I do have to leave those in the dark. But for the most part, I do at least read all the comments, and I try to get back to everyone as much as I possibly can. And honestly, answering comments can get pretty time consuming, but just remember to treat it like a business perspective, and just treat these people like they're your real customers that you really care about and that you want to help. Because that's the point. They're asking for you to help them, and if you can give them more value, then they're going to keep coming back for more, and then it's just all a good thing for the channel to keep growing, and they're entertained as well. Now, those are the tips that I wanted to talk about from my personal experience, and there's a ton of other tips out there, so just look for other resources. You guys can find a ton of different videos on how to start a YouTube channel. Now, if you just found this specific channel, I'm Jason with Honest Finance, and I make a lot of videos on different topics that'll give your life and your finances more value. So if you do have an interest in that type of content, feel free to subscribe. But thank you guys for watching, and have a great day.